So let's have a close look at Wales versus Portugal, but also I'm going to make some general comments in this video on France, Uruguay, New Zealand, Namibia, Samoa, Chile. Definitely some big performances from some of the smaller nations, Uruguay, Chile, Portugal, Namibia, the only team to get completely wiped out. But let's start with Wales, Portugal, and the big thing here is Wales got their bonus point. It was close at the end. Faletau came to the rescue in the last play of the game to get that score. So that is job done for Wales, although it wasn't easy. Portugal came to play, moved the ball fantastically well, scored a brilliant try, worked off a line out. A good game to watch, a bit of a nervy one for Welsh fans who needed that bonus point. Wales playing in black and yellow, which is actually really growing on me. A nod to the flag of St David, of course. But anyway, let's have a look at the game, pull out some of the details and some of the themes. Now, first of all, Wales, they came to play as well. They weren't just kicking and driving. They really tried to move that ball around and made quite a few mistakes, to be fair. Is this the sign of the way that Wales want to play, or was it just for this game where they wanted to score a lot of tries? I don't know. But anyway, they play from deep. They play from too deep a couple of times in this first half. Get caught, get a penalty, but Portugal miss, and Portugal missed a couple of kicks, which definitely cost them some points, maybe not the win anyway. But yeah, the Portuguese back, straight away you can see they're going to cause Wales issues, and they did all game. But then on 8 minutes, Wales start playing in the right area, in the Portuguese half, and it's nice play from Thomas Williams, massive pass out to the right to Morgan. Morgan, I thought, was a class act in this game, came in late for Rafael, and goodness me, he looks $1 million. His power, he beats that first man an awful lot. He feeds Zammit, grubber through, extreme pace, 7-0, nice start. But Portugal, they're going all out, they're spreading the ball at every opportunity, and they probably pass the ball and handle slightly better than Wales. But, you know, it's hard for them to control time in possession because they are playing such high risk but high reward rugby. But it nearly works on 50 minutes as Martins, who played really well, streaks clear, but Faletau shows great pace to catch him. Faletau proving he's still got it in this game. Now, he's an absolute definite start in the big games at 8 for Wales. And it's an exciting game, fast paced, fairly loose, a bit messy you'd say, you know, a bit too much sevens you'd like, but it's good to watch for a neutral. Maybe a little bit nervy for those guys actually who had vested interest. But yeah, Jack Morgan looking class. Schwinzer as well looked pretty good in this game, made some good breaks. Showed some pace, Schwinzer did on one break, but his pass wasn't quite good enough, or Thomas Williams might have been in. So that could have been 2 tries. But on 25 minutes, Portugal come to the party. Electric winger Marta capitalises on the loose game. And there's a yellow card for Johnny Williams, who plays the ball on the ground to stop that breakaway. And yeah, so he goes off for 10 minutes, which cost Wales definitely some more points. But good maul defence from Wales. Certainly their power play I thought was good in this game. They just shunted that maul into touch. So the maul and the scrum was definitely good for Wales. Then Lee Halfpenny showing he's got some great skills, phenomenal high kick and regather himself. So, you know, he's very good in that area of the game. But what Wales haven't managed to do yet in the first 25 minutes is really put the squeeze on Portugal, put the grind on and retain lots of phases. And Portugal are gobbling up those loose balls, and they're kicking really well. Goodness me, they kicked long really well in this game. Marquez, a case in point, a big box kick, and Anscombe is really struggling to get back. And Portugal, they're putting pressure on that Welsh line, but Halfpenny to the rescue again with a big play. So a good opening stint for Halfpenny, but certainly Wales not managing to control the game. And I'm just thinking at this point, this Portuguese side thrives on speed, and Wales are feeding that a little bit. Maybe they need to play the territory game themselves and grind the game down a bit before opening up. I wonder if you guys thought the same. And that tactical kicking game from Portugal means that when a penalty does come, it's in kickable range, so they get a score there. Grady with a high tackle, so penalty 7-3. With 1 minute to go, Wales are zipping that ball around. It's a bit messy, but they do manage to build a little bit of pressure, and Johnny Williams crashes over, but on the TMO check, he loses the ball. It was a penalty advantage though, and this time Dowie Lake does go route 1 and smashes over, so good try for the captain there. 14-3. Wales would be relieved that they got that second try before half time, but it's definitely not a boring game. And into the second half, much the same themes. Wales searching for that try just a little bit too much. The Portuguese kicking game, keeping them in good territory, but another penalty miss from Portugal lets 3 points go begging again. On 53 minutes, another messy line-out from Wales, and their line-out didn't function that well in this game. But Morgan, his power comes to the rescue again, breaks the gain line from nothing really. That leads to a very dangerous midfield scrum. Portugal, they start leaking penalties. The Welsh scrum utterly dominant. They batter the line, and of course it's the main man, Jack Morgan, powering over with a latch. 21-3, and I thought at this point they might start stretching away, but to be fair to Portugal, they come right back. One thing Portugal were doing really well is numbering up out wide, shutting down those Welsh handling plays, and Wales were making quite a few handling errors. 60 minutes, the first good foray into the Welsh 22 from Portugal, and Dyer has to be really alert to shovel his opposite winger into touch, but there's still some pressure. They turn down the points because they know they need tries, and goodness me, I think the best try of the game off a line out. Simoes, the number 8, takes a catch in the line out. He dummies with his eyes to pop to players peeling around the back, but he pops blind to the front and Martin flies over. Another missed kick, but a great try, 21-8. Now the last 10 minutes is Wales desperately searching for that bonus point try. Davis and Dyer make a good break down the left, but are needlessly shuffled into touch. It looks like Gareth Davis has dived over again from a re-summit break, but that's ruled out from the TMO. But then a bit of a break, the Portuguese winger Pinto puts his foot up in a very strange position trying to catch the ball off balance, catches Adams in the face, yellow card, then it's upgraded to a red, although that doesn't really make a difference in this game. And Wales, they do get a couple of good scrums, and their scrum is very strong, a good platform, and finally Faletau spins off one of these scrums, powers through a few tacklers, great try, 28-8, they get the job done, the bonus point, a sigh of relief. They'll want to play better for sure, but you have to say they were rotating their squad, and also Portugal played a really good game. So really impressive stuff. Australia are next. That's going to be absolutely massive for Wales. Let me know who impressed you in this game. I've picked out Morgan, Faletau, and maybe Schwinzer as well. Put all those comments below on that Welsh game. Now on to a few other games from round 2. First thing to note is bands are back for the national anthems, which is great. The choir, a good idea, but didn't work. The French game, they struggled a bit here. Uruguay looked really good. 27-12, France did come through in the end. They changed their team a lot, and they definitely looked like a side that hadn't really played together. Lots and lots of mistakes, a bit rushed. Now they were desperate to get going to impress in front of the home crowd, but yeah, it wasn't happening for quite a while in that game. But a number of players certainly showed their talents. Forwards Malvaka, Woki, Makalu I thought were really impressive athletes. Yeah, the team play wasn't the best, but certainly those three are super impressive. And, it wouldn't even be crazy if maybe you put Makalu on the wing, maybe coming off the bench in one of those big games. He could definitely scare the living daylights out of the opposition. It's clear that Hastoy is a very talented 10, although he's not going to be starting. Jaminet is a very good replacement if needed for Ramos. But I would say the step down from Dupont to the other 9s is pretty sharp. And also Dante Fiku are definitely the starting centres, and the step down to Moefana and Vincent again is pretty sharp. So they've got some depth, France, maybe not quite as much as we thought. But it has to be said, Uruguay had an outstanding game. They didn't just tackle for their lives, but they had some great lines of running, some decoys from the 10, from the centres, really impressive. Echeverri, Villaseca and Inchirate. Now for the New Zealand-Namibia game, what can you say? It was a bit of a hammering, 71-3. This is what they seem to do to Namibia anyway. And the most attacking halfbacks were starting for New Zealand in Cam Roygaard, Damien McKenzie, and they were just ripping it up at will. Really impressive. And you've got to say the freak of nature, Lester Fainganuku on the wing. I mean, he's got to be making a case to start, or maybe even on the bench, I don't know, because I don't think those winger spots for New Zealand are absolutely nailed on from the performances so far. Fainganuku to start, let me know if you would. But anyway, it was pretty much just an absolute romp from New Zealand. Good for confidence, probably can't draw too much from it, but anyway, they'll be pleased with that. And then finally, let's look at Samoa 43, Chile 10. Samoa struggled a bit in this game, but came away with some good scores. Chile are clear they're a side who have played a lot together. We know they came through a 2-leg qualifier with the USA, winning by 1 point, which is pretty awesome stuff. And there's loads of skill in this team. I mean, Flyer Fernandez looks the real deal, and many of these guys might find a pro contract on the table after the World Cup, even if they're going to get knocked out of the pool. The current Samoa group hadn't played together a lot, and it did show, certainly early on, a bit desperate to offload and get the game going, but going a bit sideways. But they did grow into the game, a bit more cohesion, they started to click, and they brought their superior physical talent to bear. but then the skills fell away a bit towards the end. So it's a good win for Samoa for sure, but they needed that game. So next they face Argentina, and they're going to need to be a bit better, and I think they will be. So a good game for Samoa to get better. That's going to be a must watch for sure. Anyway guys, comment on all those games below, and I'll catch you next time.